Project Bag Decision Truck. Here we go.
Such a bad idea.
Sometimes great things happen from bad ideas.
Nothing good is going to come from this. I give the kid credit. He tried.
Yes.
Leave it on there. I don't want to piss this thing off. I don't want to smoke the most important part of this purchase.
2 amp or 10 amp?
10 amp.
All right.
Put it on 10 amp. We'll charge it up for a couple hours and we'll try it. My luck, we put it on 200 amp and smoked the EFI, which was the whole point of purchasing this car. I don't think O2 sensors work real well when they're right in front of one another.
No. Well, my concern is the
That
fact
and they're
that
like 3 inches from the outlet.
Yeah.
That's probably bad too.
my concern is the slightly
So was he expecting to put a screamer pipe back into the outlet, or was he just going to run that up separate?
I don't know. I'm not entirely sure there was a lot of thought given to this truck before it was here. It's got a lot.
Well, there
of
was a
potential.
lot of thought and there was a lot of effort. I'll give him that.
And if you're watching this, gentlemen, we bought this from, please don't take this as we're bad-mouthing you, because we appreciate all of the work you
He
put
did
into
a
this
lot
thing.
of work, man.
There's a lot of work. And apparently did it like
in his driveway.
not in a shop. Like, this is a home-built kind of truck, which is cool.
Well, and the sticker on the back window says shed built.
Shed built, right?
Shed built, yes.
So props to you, sir, for trying to get this running right.
And now with that out of the way, we're going to rag the hell out of you for all the stuff that we find that's completely, insanely death trap.
Did notice a little bit of an oil leak when we got it on the wrecker, because apparently the oil return bung on the oil pan
Has a little porosity in the weld.
has maybe not the best weld on it, so when it may have leaked about a quart of oil or two out, which I didn't notice when I went on the trailer, but whatever.
Well, it was dark and snowing when you were loading it on the trailer, so.
Also true. It's got brand new brake pads in the front, pads and rotors in the front. It's got, from what we know, it has a brand new clutch and flywheel pressure plate, all that fun stuff. Maybe.
And NV3500, trim
Right.
5-speed.
And it seems like it clicks through the gears okay.
We'll figure that out.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Tomorrow morning, we are going to have Eric Hargett from CIA Performance stop by and take a quick little gander at Project, I don't know what we want to call this, Bad Decision Truck, to be named later, and see what he thinks. See if he can spot some other things that we haven't spotted so far. And then I think we're going to hit the key on this thing and see what happens.
We will probably do that yet tonight, but we gotta let the battery get charged up a little bit.
Want to see if it explodes tonight versus tomorrow morning?
It's got got some crafty stuff. Hey, you used V-band clamps.
I know!
You know.
I mean, there's like $100 worth of header wrap on this thing. This is that point though, like, we've all been there on builds where you just start being like, I'm fed up with you, I hate you, I'm gonna throw some more parts at you and see if it fixes the problem. And it doesn't fix the problem, but you've already thrown the money at it. This is that point. Like, I feel your pain, young man. I get it. and then you just get rid of it. This is also the highly technical way of doing an overflow. Is put a Gatorade bottle here.
I usually use beer cans.
Yeah. Well, you know, each their own. Did notice a few things in the back that once we get it up on a rack, we'll discuss from underneath that are a little bit less than optimal as far as the rear end and traction goes with this.
It's so bad.
We'll talk about that a little later.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
He tried to overcome the axle wrap with traction bars, but they didn't work out so well. He needed to use a little bit bigger wall tubing for the traction bars.
Like G-body traction bars on a full-size truck.
Oh, I think they're homemade.
Could be. I mean, they're purple.
Well,
eBay special.
I don't think they're even eBay. I think it was hardware. I think it was. They look about the size of copper pipe in your house. You know, you build something and it fails, and then you build it again. And
Yeah.
if it doesn't fail, great. If it does fail, you build it even beefier. It's the way it works. That's what you do.
Pro Charger intercooler. That's awesome. I'm not sure where that came off of, but
I don't know what that's.
I like it behind the grill, and I'm super excited to have a really big Pro Charger. Realistically speaking, this is most likely, as far as we know, 120,000 mile stock 5.3 cast iron on 8 pounds of boost. It'll make more than enough power to be hilariously funny, and with a turbo that size, 8 pounds of boost should be pretty interesting.
This is 77,
76.
76,
Yeah.
76, 77, whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. Brand new set of Shorty headers that have been flipped so they're facing forward and then cut up. She coughed a little.
So it's got brand new motor mounts, LS swap motor mounts, an LS 5.3, a 76 millimeter turbo, a Pro Charger front mount, headers that have been modified for V-band clamps, a brand new serpentine belt, brand new water pump. It has an FiTech LS Ultimate LS Controller. Looks like it has all brand new coils, wires, a whole bunch of silicone clamps for our charger tubing. New clutch. Do you put a flywheel on it too? New clutch, flywheel, pressure plate. Looks like a brand new. Yeah, clutch sleeve doesn't look, or clutch master doesn't look new, but the line looks new.
It's really hard to check the oil when you're short. There's a gigantic turbo in your way.
Well, you're not wearing your high heels today, so.
It's not truck. This doesn't work for me. Has injectors that are unknown. They are uncapped fuel injectors, which means we have absolutely no idea what their flow rate is, which if you're doing tuning is something you do need to know. So we're going to figure that out.
It's all still four-wheel drive steering. Because the front suspension, the front pumpkin's pulled and the front half shafts are pulled, but he cut the stubs off the outers of the half shafts and bolted them back into the hub to hold the hub together. Because if you don't do that, your wheel falls off. So kudos to him for thinking about that. All right. Not bad, man. Doing all this in your driveway, I give the kid respect.
Yeah. I can't imagine trying to do this all in my driveway.
The rear axle, just in and of itself, the rear leaf springs on this they leave a lot to be desired.
We'll discuss the
And the U-bolts that are on the rear leaf springs are scary. It's not as bad. It's not, the rear suspension on this is actually worse than whatever somebody did on the Toyota wagon that you guys haven't seen yet.
Oh yeah, nobody's seen that.
Nobody's seen
We've
the
already
Toyota wagon.
talked about
I haven't even started that project yet.
Ixnay on that.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
So I'll make fun of this one in that when we start talking about the Toyota.
This is almost as bad as the truck. Leave it alone for 30 minutes. Come back to it.
Fire in the hole! Oh, wait.
Let her rip, Tater Chip. Where's the fuel? Where's the fire extinguisher?
Fire in the hole!
Where's the fire extinguisher?
Yeah, you should probably get the fire extinguisher.
Let's be on the safe side.
Turn the key on. Sorry, turn the fuel pump on. Got gas. It's got fuel. You want to crank it over? Spark. Crank it over some more. Yeah. Crank it over again. You didn't have the missile switch on? Got to have the missile switch on. So we got spark, we got fuel. That means we got probably foul plugs. Let's get a set of plugs for it. It's just a spark plug. Shorty, my Gila Gorilla. Pour a little spark plug. Oh! Yeah, it's gonna need some spark plugs. I'd say first call to action is a set of spark plugs. Step one, new spark plugs.
Well, here's the thing that's really scary is if those injectors are uncapped, we have no idea what the flow rate of those things.
Oh, I'm sure the flow rate's ridiculous.
It's just whatever it's got.
I'm sure it's shit tons of fuel. It's not calculated at all. So spark plugs, pull the injectors, get them figured out.
I would say pull the spark plugs first. Put a new set of spark plugs in it and see what happens. See if it at least fires up.
Let's get a set of spark plugs for it. Ow. That's a plan. Just a wee bit carbon foul.
Yeah. So, having a bad tune file because of the fact that you're showing unbelievably unmetered air is going to just throw even more fuel at it.
The exact point of black spark plug with O2 reference at tailpipe is accurate.
Right.
So when your O2 sensor is 2 inches from the tailpipe, that is not within the 17 inches?
I'd say 17, 18 inches.
I think it's 17 inches that they say in the directions on the FiTech stuff. Yeah, you need at least 2 feet of tailpipe behind your O2 sensor so your O2 sensor can have reference so you don't have black spark plugs that don't work. Just saying.
Step one.
Step one, put your O2 sensors in the correct place.
Which is tricky when you have a setup that's like that. You have to get it far enough away from the turbo that it's not going to bake the O2 sensor.
Yeah.
But also far enough away from outside air to...
I mean, it's like a 5-inch turn up.
Yeah.
So...
Well, that's at least one answer.
Step one, spark plugs.
We'll get some NGK Sparky pluggies.
So, Austin must have been talking out here for a short guy, set up for a short guy. Cutting off my head. I'll just lean over. So we looked this bad boy over last night. The rustic beast here. We threw a set of spark plugs in it, and now we're gonna see if it does anything more than just make smoke. So let's see. Well, I would say that was a success. I didn't see any oil pressure on the gauge, but the gauge may not be hooked up right, so I'm going to check that real quick. It's got oil in it. It's a little fuel fouled. It's a little bit fuel fouled. It's probably more fuel than oil. Do me a favor, pull the drain, put an oil drain pan under it, pull the drain plug out, and when the fuel stops running out, put the drain plug back in it. So this is our oil that came out here. It's a kind of watery. This thing is definitely overfueling. Once again, probably due to the O2s not being able to read. So I'm glad I changed the oil before I did anything too major with this truck. There was a bunch of fuzz on the oil drain plug magnet, but I'm gonna hope for the best. So the fuel has been changed out of the crankcase, and we have engine oil in the crankcase now. So we're gonna crank this thing up, let it run for a minute so I can check some readings. And then I'm probably going to just go ahead and pull these fuel injectors so we can have them tested to see what kind of flow rate they're doing. They are an unknown fuel injector that have been uncapped, so we don't have any idea of fuel rate. So we're gonna figure out what fuel rate these things are running. Once we know what fuel rate they're running, we'll either use them or we'll put a set of proper CC injectors in for the target we're going for. So yeah, clearly the spark plugs were fouled out for some time. This thing's been severely overfueled. And let's fire it up and let it run for a minute. Well, it runs and it's not hammering rods, so that's a plus. I'm gonna pull a spark plug out and take a look at it. More than likely it's gonna be completely coated in fuel because it's already starting to load up and miss. So I'm gonna do that real quick on this easy guy over here. Looks like I got heat everywhere. I got a couple cold tubes. You can check to see if a cylinder is firing by looking to see how hot each of your header tubes are. That tube's hot. Well, they're already black. I'm gonna guess these fuel injectors are pouring way too much fuel into this engine.
How sexy.
So bad.
Looks so good.
It's so bad.
Immediately, you start smiling immediately.
You can't help but not smile. All right, so pull the injectors. And let's figure out what the heck's going on with these injectors. Initial repair to make it run. Plug in throttle position sensor. 8 spark plugs, change the engine oil with some crappy cheap oil that we're gonna dump out again because it's probably still full of fuel.
Yep.
So we'll flush that stuff out. So I'm gonna have Derek pull the injectors and then we can get them flow checked, but I'm gonna guess that they're way too much for what we're doing here.
That's fine. The thing is, we just need to know how much they flow, because then you can tell the computer to pull it back.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
I don't give a shit if it's a 75 million cc injector. It's just run at 2% instead of run at fuck, I don't know. Run at fuck, I don't know.
Beautiful. Rich, why can't we do this stuff all the time?
Because it doesn't pay the bills. I'd say it's already down at least one cylinder.
Yeah.
It'll only rev to like 3,800 RPM according to the tack that's in there.
Turbo's still spinning down.
Turbo's still spooling.
It's alive!
That's our rustic.
Now pull the oil out.
Now get the oil out of there.
So now we'll drain the oil out of it again.
So drain the oil, new filter or
Drain
no?
the oil, new filter, pull the injectors.
What oil do you want me to put in it?
The Kendall 2050.
Kendall 2050. Okay.
Because this thing's gonna need all the help it can get.
It's so bad, but it's so good.
Oh, it's so bad.